Alright, so here we are, the last segment. So this is asking which company investment represents the arithmetic sequence. Remember, there was biotech and what was the other one? Megatech. Okay, so remember the Megatech, we looked at the table, it was times 4, so that was geometric. So it is biotech that was arithmetic. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in. How do you know? Well, first of all, biotech. Okay, now how do we know that that is an arithmetic sequence? Okay, I'm just gonna pretty much say um, the range had a had or has a common difference of 600 after each year. Okay. Um, arithmetic or arithmetic sequences um, is a pattern of numbers where the difference between one number to the next, let's see, term, between one term to the next term is the same amount. Alright, let's see, biotech and what was the other one? I can't remember. Megatech. Okay. Megatech. Megatech. Yeah, so that's the geometric, and if you remember, the table had a uh, if you looked at the table, we started out with 50, I believe, and then multiplied by 4 each time. So the range has a common ratio of 4. Just gonna simplify this. Sequences of numbers that have a common ratio is always geometric. Alright. Again, we're not expecting word for word memorization of what I'm typing here, but just something in the same range of answers where you're including what's important. And what's important is the the main difference again for between geometric and arithmetic is that arithmetic sequence always has a common difference and the geometric sequence will always have a common ratio. Okay. Alright. We got more questions. Which company investment represents a linear function? Again, that would be biotech. Yeah, how do I know? Well, the graph of this function um, appears to be a line, and I'll put in parentheses linear. Also, arithmetic sequences always produce linear functions. Exponential, that would be the megatech. Alright, megatech. How do I know? The graph of this function um, let's start here. Geometric sequences always produces exponential function. The graph of this function appears to show a rate of change that produces a greater difference than the previous. Might change that. Let me just put something down right now. Just want to get something written down here. The graph of this function appears to show a rate of change that produces a greater difference than the previous difference. What that means is if you look at this graph here, anytime you see a change and then a bigger change and then an even greater change, okay, you get this sort of a curve effect. Okay, and when that happens, we call that an exponential growth. Okay, so in this case, an exponential function. Okay. Alright, lastly, which company is a better investment? Well, let's see. In 5 years, you're going to be paid out 3,100. In 5 years, and so that 3,100 is from biotech. Is that right? Yeah, the megatech will pay out 51,200 in the same amount of years. Okay, now notice that this one actually started out with less amount in the bank too. So this one started out with $100 and you're only getting 3,100. Okay, so obviously the megatech is a better investment. Okay, and we can say even though mega no even though what were their names? Drake, who invested in mega tech. My shift button is not working well. Why? There's something stuck there. Oops. Alright, okay, even though Drake, who invested in Megatech, started out with only $50, after, let's see, when did, so if you compare the two tables, looks like after 1 year, Lake has more, but as short as 2 years, he's already surpassed it. You got 800. No, I'm sorry, 1300. So 3 years, 1900, 3200. So that's when um, uh, Drake's investment surpasses Blake's investment. So I guess in a way this is conditional. I mean, if you're investing short term from um, less than 3 years, okay, biotech would be the better investment. But if you're investing long term, okay, so I'm just gonna summarize this journal later. Uh, so $50 after 3 years. Um, Drake's money surpasses Blake's money, who started out with $100. So we're saying Blake started out with more money, and yet after just 3 years, Drake is going to surpass Blake's money in the bank with his investment. So clearly, Megatech is a better investment. However, um, short term, meaning less than 3 years, um, biotech would be the better investment since you are getting paid $600 every year, regardless of how much um, I don't think I need to put that. You're getting paid $600 every year. Okay. Alright, that was the last question. Let me just make sure this makes sense. Even though Drake, who invested in Megatech, started out with only $50 after 3 years. Started out with $50. After 3 years, um, Drake's money surpasses Blake's money, who started out with $100. Sounds really confusing. I'm sure there's a better way to word this, but um, it's still acceptable, and I'm getting really tired. However, short term, less than 3 years, biotech would be the better investment since you are getting paid $600 every year. Alright, so I think that's a wrap. Okay, so that's pretty much your review for the Unit 2 Topic 2 um, County Formative Assessment on Friday. I hope this was helpful, and good luck to you.